through the middle of that. Michigan State first and goal. Yeah! Outstanding play.
Good evening. You are watching Brian Mosallam alongside my co-host, the Honorable Jason Strayhorn, who's in studio on this lovely 80-degree evening. Oh, no, that's in Florida.
Yeah, it's not 80 degrees here, Brian. Hold down the fort for you. Braving the ice, the snow, the wind, all those beautiful things, just so that, we can hold this thing together. But anything for you. You're my buddy.
I'm out here working, babe. I'm recruiting. I'm trying to get stuff done here, and the world.
Who you getting? What you looking at? 4 stars and 5 stars? That's it.
Got to get some 5 stars. We're gonna that little honey hole here in South Florida. I'm working for us.
A honey hole, like that. I like that term, man.
I love that term. You came up with that term, a honey hole, about in California, where Cody is. I just adore that term. But
honey holes for quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Talk to me. What's going on, man? How you been doing? You down there? You got the tan going right now? You rocking it? We up here freezing?
I'm trying to stay warm here in this, like I said, 80-degree weather. I think the bigger concern is in East Lansing. MSU basketball struggled this past week, losing two in a row, 5 of the last 6. And, it's got Spartan Nation up in arms here about what's transpiring. When we watched that game last night, we've lost 5 of the last 6. We lost 3 in a row.
Wasn't even close last night.
No, last night was ugly.
Yeah, that was one of the most concerning things for me, was that, this looked like Michigan State didn't show up, didn't compete, wasn't at all. I know that you were really bullish on with the trajectory at the time, before yesterday's game, thinking that, we've hit rock bottom. Now it's time to go. It was a very, you're going through that cycle. Where are you at on that cycle right now today, Brian?
I was wrong. The cycle right now is Izzo is washed up. That's the cycle. Have you saw the fan base go crazy? Stick, do we have any highlights of the Iowa game at all? You saw the way we played. Really, we lacked intensity. We lacked emotion. We lacked really just being able to guard, rebound, roll to the basket. And I think it all boils down to, the best Izzo teams are senior-led, experience-led. You're seeing very rarely does his teams that are led by younger players advance further in the tournament. His offense is very complex. I think Max Christie has freshman legs, a little bit tired. Gabe Brown was 0 for 7 against Iowa. And then we need Bingham Jr. to step up.
You can't have that from your leaders, man. You can't have that.
No. Listen, we've been around, Coach, have been around this program a long time. And the best Izzo teams are veteran-led, senior-led, player-led. And right now we're not seeing it. We're just not seeing it. And so do we have time to right the ship, Jason?
I would sure hope so, seeing that you still got a little bit of February to go before you get into the month of Izzo. But obviously you have a little time, but they got to do some soul searching and do it fast, because what it seems that this team is lacking is not from a physical standpoint. It's definitely from a mental standpoint. So this is the proverbial getting in your own way by not just letting go and doing what the coach asks you to do. That's one of the hardest things for young people, is to trust that what the coach is saying, because it may not make sense to you, trust that it's the best thing for you and just try it. Give it an honest try, 100%. We always talk about 110%. Try it and see if coach is wrong. But if you just keep doing it your way over and over and over again and you keep getting the same results, that's the definition of insanity. So hopefully the youngsters can take that self-look in the mirror and figure out, like if it is to be, it's up to me. That's the old One of my old coaches said that if it is to be, it is up to me. Like, you have to say that to yourself, something to harness that energy in order to do what you need to do. And that's just step up and lead.
You got to get, I'm telling you, it's Izzo staple is defense, rebounding, effort, toughness. We all know the formula. You can have off nights in shooting, but you can't have off nights rebounding the ball. You can't have off nights playing defense, and you can't have off nights being tough. And we're seeing some of that's lacking. We know this team has the capability. We know it has the talent. We've seen flashes throughout the year, and this is a maturation process that, dare I say, we're 1 year away. We might be, but our leaders have to step up. This team does have the talent to make a deep run. And when you look at the cycle, you look at where we are right now and where everybody thinks, the fan base is going ballistic about how we're playing, and rightfully so. But, you look at the last 5 losses. The opponents have averaged 18.8 free throws a game. We've averaged 10 free throws a game. So we're not getting to the basket. We're not getting underneath. We're settling for too many jump shots. We're getting out rebounded.
Is that a talent thing or an effort thing?
It's an effort thing. No, it's absolutely an effort thing. The things you can control that are effort related, we're lacking. You're going to miss shots. Sometimes you're going to lack talent. That's going to happen. But effort, toughness, rebounding, defense, staples of an Izzo program right now are not there. And a lot of that really boils down to leadership. We can diagram X's and O's all day long. We can talk about how, they're sagging off of A.J. Hogarth, letting him, he's quote unquote a liability, not shooting the ball because they're giving him the shot, which I think A.J.'s really done a nice job stepping up. But we can make excuses all day long, but your seniors, your leaders have to lead this team. Those are the best coached Izzo teams, and right now that's not happening. So when you look at Purdue. Purdue's coming in Saturday, ranked 4th in the country. Ivy's averaging 17.3 points a game. Edie, their center's averaging 14.5 points a game. We never match up well against Purdue. This is a big game. So when you look at the cycle about Izzo being washed up and then beating a big opponent, we're right there right now. We got to win that one Saturday. You got Michigan, Ohio State, Maryland, and you got to probably get 1 or 2 more to be comfortably in the dance. But don't count this team out and make it a run. And like Coach said after the press conference, he said, "We'll be back. We're going to rebound. We're going to be well." And I mean, we just this happens. How many times does this happen? But I'm going to be very honest. If we don't get the leadership that we need from our veterans, it's going to be a quick exit, an absolutely quick exit.
I don't know if there's anybody that's a Spartan fan right now that has the nerve or can honestly say with a straight face they have a chance on Saturday with what we've seen. Brian, has to win versus can they, do they even believe that they can? Because I don't really think there's anybody that believes that blindly. Where is there evidence of this? Because we know that they have maybe the skill set too, but talent rather, but it's untapped talent with the pressure's on, and pressure does 2 things: it either breaks you or can make diamonds. That's what it can do. It really can. And, this team, I don't know how much more pressure they need in order to do what everybody's looking, but where do you see there's evidence that Michigan State has an opportunity to even be in this ball game, let alone win it? I'm not even going to say win it. They're not going to get blown out on Saturday.
No, this team has a lot of talent. This team, when they're rebounding the ball and they're not turning the ball over and they're playing with effort, toughness, and defense, this team's a top 10 team. And some will argue a top 5 team. We have the talent. There's no question. But as well as I do, at this age, it's a very fragile psyche. and it's all about confidence, right? And
Yeah.
you saw a coach do a 180 at his press conference. Said, "We'll be back. We're gonna regroup. We're gonna give it effort." Like coach caught that. Coach saw that. Coach is sending a message to his team at that press conference after the Iowa game. He was very clear. He's letting them hear through the media, and I believe in you. We believe in you. And don't be surprised if we go out Saturday and beat Purdue, because this team has the goods and has the talent and just has to put it together. And you know as well as I do, it takes one good game, put it together, to get that run going. One becomes two, and two becomes five, and all of a sudden, you got the steely, tough team that's heading into March, and everybody's like, "Oh boy, look out! Here comes Izzo." So this team has the goods. It's all about confidence and playing with that confidence right now.
Well, I sure hope they show up on Saturday and have a little bit of that moxie with them. Let's move on a little bit, because speaking of all this beatdown going on, there was a little bit of a beatdown that went on.
There was some beatdown going on there. Madison.
Madison. What's going on with Juwan, man? Like, look at this. Here's a replay where that poor coach happened to ram his head into Juwan's hand.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's
Juwan.
incredible.
That was the coach's face, his head. Yeah. Look at that.
I mean,
why would he put his face in the way of that?
I don't know. The coach from Wisconsin, that was bad.
Portnoy was fantastic. That was a respect slap, not a punch. When I saw that, I just, I was just cracking up. He called an emergency press conference talking about the assault. I mean, here's my question.
You're discussing Twitter world, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what Portnoy was saying. And I mean, here's, I think the question is that should Juwan have been fired? I mean, that's the question that I have, and many have asked. And, what are your takes on that, Jason?
I think it's deplorable. I think for a guy in his position, especially a black man, let me just go here right for a moment, to lose your cool on national television like that and get physical with somebody. Juwan, this ain't you. This ain't nothing. You are one of the few African-American coaches in sports at a major institution like Michigan, a Power 5 conference school, an institution that has the winningest programs and blah, 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 blah. You represent that
You're
brand.
Right, Juwan.
I mean, how can you now lose your cool with a guy like that? Like, look, I don't see him doing that to Dwayne Stevenson. Like, he ain't doing that in our handshake line. He ain't going to swing on DJ. That ain't going to happen. So why you going to mess with this guy down there in Madison, man? Come on, Juwan. That man wasn't oppressing you. That man asked you a question. He was trying to, calm things down.
Croft? What?
I mean, come on, man. What's he getting physical
Juwan.
with him? There's 90 guys between you. We all know what that means. When you swing on a guy when there's 90 guys in between, you scared. That's that bullshit.
Juwan, you can take a swing at DJ? DJ
no,
like
man.
that?
We see that, man. Come on now, bro. You gonna swing on that guy? Like, for what? Swing on him. Let's swing. Now, I'm a Michigan basketball head coach, but I'm gonna swing on you on TV. There's no plausible denying nothing. We saw that. Look at it. Wait, is the blue wall say the blue wall has spoken? We're going to suspend it for the rest of the season.
South side of Chicago.
Come on, man. South side. Juwan, we know.
I got a question for Juwan.
That right there.
Are you swinging at DJ like that? Are you swinging at Dwayne Stevens like that? That's what I want to know.
Heck, no.
No.
Not happening.
Now, should he have been fired? Do I personally believe he should have been fired? I mean, as much as Spartan Nation will dislike this comment, I don't. I don't. I think.
What about the rest of the season and the playoffs and the postseason?
Yes, he deserves the rest of the season suspension and even the postseason suspension. He should not be coaching in the NIT. No question. He should be out. All right. But my question to you is, if Tom Izzo takes that same swing, is he on Mars Guantanamo Bay. Is every
He's in
national
that deer
pundit.
hunting stand with Bobby Knight. That's where he's at.
I was gonna say, is every national pundit out there saying, Tom Izzo now has had his Bobby Knight moment. Time for him to go. The game has passed him by. And I think that's a very fair question because, these every one of us thought the same thing. If Tom Izzo did that, he would be gone, 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 gone. Because everybody talks about how much he yells and all that stuff. And so, is there a double standard sometimes? And maybe, yeah, I think there is. I really do. Which brings us to the blue wall, right? When we're talking about the blue wall, and we dissected this, we looked at this, and really on cue. And I give them credit because I think as Spartans we get mad. We get mad about the blue wall.
Sometimes you just got to congratulate the player, man. Sometimes.
Absolutely.
When they beat you at your own game or whatever, they beat you at the game of life.
You saw Desmond attack a cancer-stricken Dickie V. Wojo, Wojo come out and defend. Wojo got mad at me. You saw Wojo say it was a slap, not a punch. You saw some of the other beat writers, I believe, go through all those, right? That was great right there. I believe they saw Sam.
I mean, why are you getting into fights with Bob Wojnarowski?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it was just on cue. It was just, I said death, taxes, and on cue. Every one of them queued it up, right? And they all started building that wall. And, here it is, Dickie V in bed getting chemo, having to defend himself because Desmond came at him a little bit. And so, do we get mad about that or should we learn and embrace? Yeah, this is...
there you go. I love the graphic here.
It is. It truly is. Guaranteed death, taxes, the blue wall. And so
do you have that same smile on your face when you're making these tweets?
I'm just cracking up because do we ridicule or do we learn? Right? Should we learn from this? And I think it's like if we build like the on cue, every one of them jumped in and started to defend or justify or whatever they set this off in the blow. So Spartan Nation, we need to learn from this. We need to build that Twitter wall.
Yeah.
We need to build the media wall. And instead of getting mad, embrace it and learn because this is very real. This happens all the time. It happens with Mitch Albom. It happens every time there's an article written. Jim Harbaugh is the only coach I know in America that can go visit, take a interview on National Signing Day, and then I'm not even going to get into all the other stuff that involves, which is more serious stuff, not the trolling and joking stuff, but some of the more serious stuff that I thought that survivors were not.
Do you think? Oh, yeah. Now you're talking about sensitive subjects.
Listen, Twitter's for fun. Twitter's joking, having a good time. That stuff's serious stuff, but I do believe that. They do a very good job of that. And I think instead of getting mad about it, I think we got to learn. We need to institute the same wall. And every one of our beat writers, every one of our Twitter, social media influencers, Instagram, we need to be able to jump on cue. But
how are they so coordinated and organized? Do you think they're having a blue wall discussion? Is there like a blue wall Zoom somewhere that's happening, a Teams meeting maybe that you can't break in because Teams is what government entities use? Is there a actual meeting somewhere like Jimmy Hoffa, like at the coffee shop where they all get together, the blue wall people, and they talk about strategy? How do they get the message and get it out so quickly?
I just think it's been 50 years of an unwritten rule, and that's the way it's happened. We've been hearing about this for years, and I think instead of insulting them for that, give them credit for it and build their own wall. Do the same thing. Now, when I say that, I also say when we're wrong, we're wrong. And if there's an incident that happens that deserves criticism, we give the criticism. And you've seen some of that as well. I mean, we joke and we laugh and all that stuff. But some of the other stuff is just so blatant. It's just so obvious. Come on. I mean, some of the stuff it's it's really serious stuff. Like, I mean, we're still writing articles about Bo Schembechler. Really, really, come on. Like, there's some very serious things that are transpiring that we really need to take hold of, and but we need to learn and follow suit. It's okay when it comes to that. Follow suit. So it is what it is. Um, but when you look at some of the stuff that's transpired.
We got real serious there for a minute, man. I mean, serious. Can we talk a little?
Well,
I mean, what are we doing here?
Let's go.
Women's sports? Can we do that?
Absolutely. I think it's important that we give a shout out to women's sports, right? Give a shout out to women's gymnastics, ranked 10th in the country. Congratulations. Great. We love it.
That's
We're going
awesome.
to start showcasing. We are going
top
to start
10 team.
Absolutely.
Some of the toughest people on the campus right there. I know that when you have an injury as a football player, you're in that training room, and when you have serious injury, they kind of pool resources, and you no doubt will see a gymnast in there. They get injuries that you wouldn't believe. They risk. They're tough.
Players.
Oh my God!
There's more.
Does they come back and do it again?
There are more injuries in women's gymnastics than there are in football. So that is one of the most physical sports, and sometimes doesn't get enough attention. But kudos to them. Congratulations on the ranking. Women's basketball has a rematch with Michigan on Thursday in Ann Arbor. That school down the road. Excuse me. Senior day is Sunday against Ohio State. Congratulations. Good luck this coming week. And so every week we're going to try and say a word or two, update the Spartan Nation about women's sports. And then on to former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores. And we thought we found this clip here, and we'll play it real fast, that we thought, Brian Flores, who was the former head coach of the Dolphins, was asked who had some influence over his career, and he had this to say, which we thought was very interesting. Just
your knowledge from and you learned a lot from, like, who was that one guy? It could be anybody.
The one person that definitely helped me, that people probably wouldn't think of, is Mel Tucker. The year before I was going to be the coordinator in New England, I spent a few days in Georgia, University of Georgia, where Mel was a DC. And I remember sitting in his meeting and saying to myself, damn, that guy's right. Impressive. Right. I kind of saw myself, but an older, wiser, more seasoned version. And I was like, I got to learn from this guy. Right. He's somebody who, he probably doesn't even know how much of an impact he had on me. Right. And I took a lot from that.
I found those comments to be very interesting, just out of nowhere. And what do you think about that, Jace?
I mean, that goes to show you the kind of respect. You're hearing it from a NFL head coach, a guy who has coached underneath people like Bill Belichick for a number of years in New England, and has got his way, has worked his way up to being a head coach in the National Football League. Obviously, we know what's going on with him in the lawsuit against the NFL, or the teams and the NFL, for not firing, not using or utilizing favorable hiring practices as it relates to giving African Americans a fair shot at being coaches or head coaches in the National Football League. So we know about that. But when asked in general, who do you credit some of this to, and the name that comes out of his mouth is Mel Tucker, and there's no relation there. I mean, I don't know what else you need to hear in order to try to be, if you need to be sold on who we have in East Lansing. The activity, all the work has already been done and programmed into this individual. Now he's giving it to the players. It takes time. It's not something that you can snap your fingers overnight and you're just, boom, all of a sudden you're Alabama. It takes time. Alabama had a couple of years before the success, the hyper success that they've had over the last decade or so. it's a long time coming, and Michigan State right now is primed for such one of those runs right there. They're primed for one of those runs with Mel Tucker. That's just the tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. With Brian Flores telling you what he feels, you're going to hear more of that, and it's my opinion as time goes. I'm telling you, people are stopping. I'm hearing it. I know you're down there in Florida. There's still a buzz going on about Mel Tucker and Michigan State as a brand that we haven't seen in a long time.
The brand is the buzz, and that to me is a cultural shift, because the brand being a buzz is what these young men want to hear today. And to have a former NFL head coach make those comments, who is really highly regarded in many of the circles, for him to say that, and for him to say Mel might not even know that, really speaks volumes for where Tuck, the respect that Tuck has, because Tuck spent 10 years in the league, and I think those comments are profound. And if I'm any high school recruit listening to those comments, I'm really doing a double take, saying, whoa, wait a minute, this is an NFL head coach talking about another head coach in college that I don't know that well. And really that to me speaks volumes. And you're seeing it all across the country. I mean, I'm in Florida, talking to people here in California, talking to people, and the buzz around Mel Tucker and this university and the brand in Michigan State, it's really nationwide. We've never seen this reach across the country. Never, ever seen this reach. And you're seeing recruits across the country. I'm really, really reaching. And really one that comes to mind right now, you look at MSU, according to Justin Thin in 247, MSU has now offered one of the top defensive ends in the portal, Georgia Tech defensive end Jordan Dominic, who was coached by Brandon Jordan. I don't know if you have that stick to play that, but now we've offered one of the top defensive ends in the portal, which really would be a huge get. And Brandon Jordan being here is going to be.
He gets to play with his old coach from Georgia Tech at Michigan State. There's a plus. Brandon Jordan being able to work with a lot of high-level NFL talent, plus. Mel Tucker, plus. All we got to do is catch the facilities up, man. Those kind of things, and get the NIL program running where it should be. Those are the things that need to be done, really, to button up national championship repetitively for Michigan State. Man, can we talk to a Super Bowl champ or what, man?
Oh, that's so exciting. That is so exciting.
Man, I mean, this is the only reason I can't. Honor. I'm in Michigan here just so I could do this for you. But this is an honor. What a
pleasure.
Oh, man.
What a pleasure. Joining us now.
Oh.
Joining.
Wait.
We got him.
Unfortunately, I have not won a Super Bowl, and I'm the only one here right now.
Oh, we got producers.
I will let you guys know.
All right. We're working it. They're working on some,
We got some technical
difficulties.
No, we're fine. We're just waiting on the call.
Is Brian ready? Text him. See if he's ready. But, when you talk about the brand and Tuck and Brandon Jordan and just kind of, Spartan Odyssey and who we've offered across the country, where the recruiting class is ranked, the reach we've had nationwide, the hires that Mel Tucker has made, this program, the trajectory of this program is really headed to a different level. It's really, really exciting because we're seeing really outside the box things, the hiring of Brandon Jordan, defensive end rush specialist. You're seeing, Saeed Khalif being named general manager, executive director of player personnel. Those are things that you normally don't see in a college program. Those are designed, and the way that they're built with the portal, with NIL, with everything that's transpiring. Those are, Tuck's building a program to replicate to mimic the NFL. And if I'm a young man trying to get to the league, trying to get to the next level, I'm looking for programs like that are focused on my next step, on my future. I mean, kudos to the staff, to Mel Tucker, to really their philosophy and what they're trying to do. Understanding the branding, understanding social media, understanding recruiting, marketing, even titles of coaching staff. Building this, running this like an NFL program really will only bode well for the future. I mean, the landscape of college athletics has changed dramatically. I was watching.
Let's watch the Super Bowl. We've got Brian Allen.
Do we got him on here?
I'm in.
There he is. I'm done babbling. Joining us now
nice
is
filler.
Super Bowl champion Brian Allen. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. How you guys doing?
Good, dude, man.
Great.
How you feeling? Talk to us a little bit about that. Coming off this
Good.
Super Bowl buzz.
Still a little tired. Finally starting to get over the hump just a little here. So I just got home to Chicago today after a long week of celebrating. So time to catch up on some sleep.
Man, we really appreciate you, waiting a little bit for the beauty sleep to come on the show for us, man. I mean, it's an honor to have a guy. And look, man, Brian, imagine if you won a Super Bowl. You wouldn't have slept, maybe 5 hours between now and, 10 days ago? Yeah.
That's what it feels like. So it's been, one of those weeks.
Yeah. So tell us, what it was like, the coolest moment of that whole experience, with the lead up before the game first.
Yeah, it was a little different having the game at home. I think however many years have gone by to have two teams play back-to-back home Super Bowls. So as far as like the week's approach, having the insight of being in the Super Bowl in Atlanta my rookie year versus, being at home now, it was, a normal week. We didn't really deviate at all from, what a normal work schedule would be. One day we went down to the Rose Bowl to practice there for some wind, but, where our practice facility is, the Santa Ana winds get us, a couple times a year anyways. So, it really did feel like a normal week, in our own locker room, sleeping in your own bed till Saturday night. It's a big advantage. And, we never really were exposed or, saw any of the Super Bowl chaos really going down, down around the LA area. So it's good to be at home and, awesome building up to the game just to go through your normal routine.
Wow. And beyond that, like looking at the game, looking at all the highlights, was there moments to you that stood out in the game itself? I mean, that was a battle to the end. Went and got sealed by your defense. Obviously, Aaron Donald, as you're showing right there, with the big sack.
Yeah. Definitely a game with a bunch of ups and downs. We were running the ball early, having a hard time to run the ball, in the second half and finding really a rhythm there. And, our defense was doing their job and, kind of stalemated in the second half. It kind of, stunk to see Odell go down. Still very curious to see what he would have done with the rest of the game, the way he was playing that night. But, man, just what an awesome game, awesome finish. And then, the big drive at the end, I think around like the 11-minute mark, Sean brought the offense up, kind of, got everyone on the same page, understood that things weren't going our way at that point in the game, but we were going to get 2-3 more drives maybe, and we had to pick which one we were going to go down and do it. So kind of resembled the Iowa drive, the one to win the Big Ten championship in 2015. Just a long, kind of grueling drive. Not as many run plays on our end, but we got down there in about the same amount of plays. So it was a fun way to get it done.
What does it feel like to win a Super Bowl? I mean, when Aaron Donald swung that guy around and it was over, just walk us through that moment.
Yeah. I actually didn't know we had won at that point. I on that last drive that we scored on to go ahead, I started cramping. So I knew they had
Kind of hurts.
their kicker is one of the bigger leg kickers in the NFL. So if you get
Hmm.
around the 50 in the NFL, there's a shot it's going in for 3. So I was with the trainers taking, cramp shots, getting massages and all this stuff. And I was getting ready for overtime in my mind. So I was trying to get that stuff kind of under control and, down so I could get ready to go in. And then everyone started screaming that, Aaron got him. And I'm like, all right, what down is it? And they're like, no, you got to go in and take the knee. So it was, interesting way to find out you won, but it really still hasn't set in. I'm still kind of on cloud 9 trying to comprehend what all of it means. You hear about other guys winning Super Bowls and, what it does for them and, kind of having that title for the rest of your life. And it just hasn't set in yet. Just another football game right now.
You know, we don't need to tell you, but as Coach D told you and every other coach you ever had, is that they can never take it away from you, right? So we all know that slogan, but a lot of people in Detroit were extremely happy for Stafford, and there was, I'd say, 85-15, 80-20, wanted him to win, kind of Detroit Rams, which I think they went overboard, but what kind of guy is Stafford? Good guy. Good dude.
Everything Detroit supports and thinks he is exactly who he is. He's a awesome teammate, awesome guy. Does everything the right way, works hard, humble, tough, and to get all those things at that position's pretty unique. So to be able to work with him every day is awesome, and just the legacy he already has, and to have a front row seat to just be close and see how he operates and the way he leads our offense is something I'm pretty grateful for. Pretty cool opportunity. So he's the man, deserves it all. So glad he could finally get one. I kind of became a Lions fan just living in Michigan throughout college. So
That's awesome.
Cool the way that it ended up.
I mean, you just talked about his toughness too, and I don't know if you got a chance to see it or if you saw it during the game when he got rolled up, Matt. It looked like his ankle. And that for sure looked like a mild sprain, at least. But he just got it spatted up and came back, didn't miss a play. He's a tough dude.
He's a tough guy. You don't hear much complaining out of him. He's I don't like seeing some of the shots he took this year, but he takes them and he gets up like everyone else and keeps playing. So it's a unique quality to have at that position.
Wow, man. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I just want to know, how did Michigan State and your experience here, playing for bowls, playing for Staten, and everything that you learned here, winning championships, the culture, how did that prepare you for that moment, for the NFL?
Yeah, I would say, just being at Michigan State at the time that I was there, the players I got to play with every day, just playing in the Big Ten. We're going to Big Ten championship games, going to, New Year's Six bowl games and things like that. Just, we were always in those big environment-like games, and, we were always playing, against the best guys in the Big Ten. And at that point, I think Big Ten had 2 of the 4 national championships when I was in college, so it wasn't, like an all SEC deal going on when I was there. So just, every year we were going to be one of the best teams. And, with that came, those big game, opportunities, whether that was at Penn State, Ohio State, Nebraska, everywhere you play in the Big Ten, whether you're at Rutgers. I think one of the craziest games I played at in college was at Rutgers, believe it or not. So just, playing that schedule, being in that competitive environment day in and day out, just, you get to the NFL, sure, guys are a little better than college. That's expected. But, the way our program was at Michigan State, when I was there, was really kind of just ready to walk in first day, and you knew what was expected, and, you knew what you had to get done because, there were standards and expectations in East Lansing with, guys like Coach Ken Manny and Mark D'Antonio that, were expected and you didn't get away with. So very grateful for those, father figures and, life coaches that I had there while I was there.
Man, awesome. Everybody's going to want to ask this question, I'm sure. Who's the toughest guy you've had to face in the NFL so far? Like, who's the guy that you see on the schedule and you're like, man, I don't want to play this guy. That guy's a problem.
Am I allowed to list guys on my own team? Because
Aaron Donald, I'm sure.
You
Aaron
absolutely
Donald's
can.
at the top of the list.
Is he even
One-on-ones?
blockable?
Freaks. What'd you say?
Is he blockable? Is he blockable?
I mean, in 4 years, I probably have 5 or 6 clips on him, but I got tape of him. I've showed him, so let him know I'm still there. But no, he's next level. You know, everyone wants to say, you know, the next Aaron Donald, the next, you know, this, that. I've played competitive sports for, we'll say, probably 15 years now, and there's nothing like him that I've seen. Nothing comes close to the type of athlete he is, the type of explosion he can create, the type of strength that he has. It's just, I don't know how he does it. It's pretty special thing he's got going. So honored to get to see him every day too. Makes me a lot better.
And we were offensive linemen, and so when we watch him, right, he's a little undersized, and yet you see the way he makes plays, right, and he goes around guys, and dare I use the term coward's way, right, like he's so quick. I've never seen a defensive line.
I've seen him go through people too.
Go through people.
He's got them all.
People. I just, it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. And is it his work ethic? Is it God-given ability? Is it what is it?
It's all that. He's probably he's probably 270. I'd say he's around there. He's not a heavy guy, and I've seen him, you know, bench press probably close to 500, 515 pounds. So just kind of a, you know, unnatural human strength he's got going there, and just freak work ethic. You know, he's one of the first guys in, last ones to leave, always, you know, extra lifts, extra workouts, and just one of those guys who, you know, gets everything that they work for, and it's deserved. So awesome guy to learn from, awesome guy to, you know, look up to as a mentor. So
Outside of
he
him,
does it all.
Outside of him, I mean, he's incredible. I mean, I know that's got to be a dream to play with a guy like that. It only can make you better as an offensive lineman going against Aaron Donald every day. But, you know, outside of your team, is there anybody out there that you say is like, okay, this is, you know, everybody's really good. Is there any one guy that stands out above them?
You know, there's certain guys that, you know, you definitely are aware of. I wouldn't say I'm kind of at that point where, you know, when I was younger, there'd be a guy who you kind of looked up to, growing up to, and you'd get there and think, you know, I gotta, like the first time you play in Dominican Sue, you're like, I'm playing in Dominican Sue on Sunday. Like this guy was stepping on people in Detroit when I was, you know, 10. Like what did I get myself into? But, you know, now I'm at that point where, you know, I've kind of played everybody. I've played guys who will have gold jackets. I've played guys who will be in the Pro Bowl and things like that. So there's not really anyone who scares me or anything like that. For me, it's really we'll see, like a guy like Akeem Hicks, like a player like that who's, it's one thing when they're big and slow, but if you're big and powerful, that's a rare combination inside in the NFL, and guys like that. But
yeah, I saw him walking around down in Florida.
Top of my head right now.
It's a big dude. Yeah, Akeem Hicks. Yeah, he went to some small school out of nowhere. I don't know. Yeah, he is a freak.
He had some like recruiting thing happen where he ended up going to a school in Canada. Where I want to say it was University of Regina or something.
Wow, Regina.
So,
say it again.
Yeah, University of Regina. So I want to say he was committed to go to LSU though at one point.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Akeem Hicks going to LSU.
Yeah. No, he wasn't under the radar. I think it was more of a recruiting hiccup with something. But
he did go
Jeffrey Simmons, that name sticks out. The kid in Tennessee, he's pretty good. He's a defensive tackle, kind of similar to what I'm saying, like 6'4", 6'5", 330, and angry.
I mean, you telling me Aaron Donald is 270 blows me away. You know, like
he's not a big guy.
You don't see three techniques. just guys inside, whatever he is, five, playing a 4 or 5, just at that weight. I mean, 270 is just wow.
Yeah, he can get thrown
That's
around normally.
Wow, super light. That is remarkable to me. I mean, for him to be that good at that weight inside is just, it shows you what a stud he is, To know, you had a major injury, and then, walk us through that rehab to, being a Super Bowl champion and how you felt, all the way moving over to that. Because that's, for you to, you're in a dark hole, training by yourself, getting back to normal, and then being a Super Bowl champ. I mean, that's a hell of a recovery, man.
Yeah, definitely a roller coaster over the last 2 years. So 2019, I was a starting center. I tore my MCL, my meniscus, and then I fractured my tibia head, kind of late in the year, November, at Pittsburgh. So kind of a crappy time of the year to injure yourself anyways, where you're not sure if you're going to be back for the beginning of the next season. So, that had happened. I didn't really realize the severity of that injury, and, getting into rehab, all that stuff, coming back and trying to get healthy. And, one thing led to another, and just taking forever and ever to get healthy. And, before you know it, it's training camps there. And I missed most of that for the 2020 season. So didn't really have an opportunity to, compete for the job or, really be a part of the team. At that point, I was still rehabbing and whatnot. But, thankfully they kept me around, which isn't always the case. And, the NFL, if you're, a guy who can't play, but, on the roster. So, you'd be a starter, and then the next year you're not playing at all. You're not dressing on Sundays. That's, kind of a, tough adjustment going from being the guy to, just someone in the building. So definitely a long year, just, first off, not being where you want to be on the depth chart, to still not being healthy, still not being able to, feel strong, feel good about, little things like walking. And, they're trying to tell you got to go practice and block Aaron Donald when you're not, the starter. You guys know you're on the scout team. So, I'm out there 65%, 70%, 75%, just trying to get my knee stronger and, doing it against these guys who are, trying to get ready to play the New York Giants or, whoever it is that week. So, definitely a, an interesting year and, humbling and, not a fun place to be. But I think that season and, everything I got from that really is what, motivated me and, kind of pissed me off to, go into this year with, higher expectations for myself and, really just hold myself accountable and, know what my goals were and know that they were going to get done. So I don't think this year really happens without all the, all the bad stuff that happened and all the lessons that came with that. So, grateful for, having gone through that and, to kind of be the guy to not be the guy to, everyone kind of counting you out to come back in and proving everyone wrong was, pretty cool thing to do. And, just to do it this year and to win the Super Bowl was, icing on the cake to, come back in and, finish out a season how I wanted to. So pretty cool to do in my 4th year and, finish the job there.
Finish the job you did, and you're talking about the way you have 2 other brothers. Jack, your older brother, and Matt is your younger brother, who's just now leaving Michigan State. Correct. Talk about that household a little bit. Back in the Allen household, back in was it Hillsdale?
Hinsdale, yeah.
Hinsdale, Illinois, with Mom and Dad.
Let me say this: Jack is my favorite.
D2 school around Grand Rapids gets every Michigander with it.
That's Hillsdale.
Yeah.
How's my man Jack doing? I love Jack.
He's good. He's in the other room right now. So I just got home to bug
what's
him.
happening.
I will.
Yeah. But yeah, the
Dad
household.
doing okay?
How's Mom and Dad?
Mom and Dad are good. They're down in Florida, so they're smarter than us, getting away from the cold.
As they should. But talk about the household. You have 3 guys end up playing at a high level. Probably the greatest centers, back to back to back in Michigan State history. Thinking coming from one household. What was it like? You guys all wrestle. So did you wrestle at home? Did you fight? Because, I mean, I've got 2, and they're always fighting each other when they're in the same household, under the same roof. So it had to be crazy.
No, we definitely did it all. We all grew up, wrestling at a young age. That was kind of the first sport we all got into. So we did have a wrestling room at our house. I think everyone's heard some stories about that, here and there. But, just very, very competitive household. We all played 3-4 sports, and we all thought we were, going to play all 3 or 4 of them professionally, whichever one we wanted to choose. So that was, kind of our mindset, and all 3 of us were dumb enough to believe it, and it's kind of where it took us. So I'm very thankful to have my brothers, have my parents, and like those humbling experiences I talked about in 2020, like just having those guys to push you and motivate you are things that won't take for granted. So it was awesome growing up with them, and definitely wouldn't be here without them, and kind of the environment you're talking about, just having guys to push you and make you get better all the time.
We'll leave you with this so you can get some rest. But Mel Tucker, Michigan State, have you been paying attention, and what are your thoughts so far?
Spartans are back, baby. It's been exciting. Right. It's definitely, it's cool to see. I think we can all agree it's a different type of program than what Coach D did to now, but it's different type of college football from when I was there to now. So it's exciting to see all the whatever's happening with these deals and the transfer portal and the way this
NIL.
I'm 26 and I'm already feeling like the old guy.
You're old now. You're old.
Yeah.
It was. Last year was awesome to watch. I don't know how many wins they were projected to get, but for him to come in his first 4.5 for him to come in his first real season. I'm not gonna count the COVID year where they played 5 games or whatever, but just come in for the first year and to have the season they had was pretty cool to see, and you can feel the people having the excitement again. And when Michigan State's winning, it's East Lansing's a different place, so you can definitely feel that vibe all the way in California, and everyone's excited, and it's fun to watch. It's a weird experience for me. It's the first time I've really been in the position where I'm the old guy watching your alma mater, if you will. I graduated like 6 months ago. I don't know if I can say that yet, but
congratulations.
Yeah. Appreciate it. But definitely a lot of fun. Excited for him. Met him a couple times, and excited to see where they're going. So,
well, good stuff. Come on back. We'd love to have you back.
Yeah. Speaking of that, he wants players coming back and training with the team. He's got a whole locker room.
I'm coming to the basketball game on Saturday. I'll be there.
Oh, you'll be there?
Oh, good.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. I'll be there too. So we'll link up.
Driving up with a couple former Spartans.
Oh, boy. Look out. You going to have that Lombardi with you?
I got Byron Bulla with me, so everyone get their seatbelts
on. Those Bullas now.
Them Bullas are another story, man. I'm telling you, you legacy kids, you guys are something else, man. Something else. So, well, listen, welcome back and enjoy, and congratulations. We're so proud of you, so happy for you, man. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. And Stray, catch up. Buy the guy a beer on Saturday, will you?
Yeah, man. Whatever he wants, man. Super Bowl champ.
I think I'm sticking to water for
water. Yeah. Hydration. All right, man. Appreciate it, Brian.
Brian, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, brother. Congrats, and we'll see you Saturday, and appreciate you. Take care. Go green.
Sounds good. Go green.
Take care. Go white. Thanks. That was Brian Allen joining us. Boy, I tell you, them legacy kids are something else, aren't they? Straight.
I mean, yeah, he's great, man. I mean, he's just a class act, a classy family, really. If you know the Allens, I mean, they're wonderful from top to bottom. So it's great to have one of the Allen brothers making it big, man. Out in L.A., winning a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. How about that? He's the one snapping the ball to Matt Stafford. Pretty cool.
Get him some water. He's still
Aquafina will be in his future. All weekend, Aquafina.
Absolutely. Ladies
and
gentlemen.
Maybe a little carbonati.
A little carbonati. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And Inside the Locker Room, this is Brian Mosallam alongside my co-host, the Honorable Jason Strayhorn. Thank you. Good night and go green.
God bless.